Hey folks, this is Ben back with you in the Midwest Model Shop, and today we are going to do an open box review of a brand new kit by Vanguard Models. Today we're going to take a look at His Britannic Majesty's Cutter Sherbourne from 1763. So, full disclosure, ultimately I ended up getting sent this kit for free, I think, sort of. Chris Watton is the guy who owns and runs Vanguard Models. Phenomenal individual. You may have noticed we're working on our Duchess of Kingston build over here. You can see it over on Patreon from start to where we are at this present date, and then we're going to wrap it up on Patreon. Eventually here we are going to do a video series on YouTube on this build, so you will eventually be able to see it here. But we've also gone ahead and reviewed the Saucy Jack, and then we're going to take a look at this. The Saucy Jack came with a set of, well, it didn't come with. There was a set of premium sales for it available at the time. So I went ahead and I got those from Chris, I believe at a discount. Anyway, they came and they didn't seem to match up right. In the review video I did for that, those of you may have seen it, I had a guy comment just recently and say, yeah, you actually, those are the wrong sales. Those are for a different ship. And I went and looked, and lo and behold, he was right. So I pointed out to Chris, I'm like, hey man, wrong sales. He went ahead and said, I'm really sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and give you a full refund. And I said, well, that's no problem. But do you want the sales back? Because I know they're a premium set, and he can't source them anymore because reasons. And I said, well, I don't need them. I'll send them back to you. He's like, thank you. That's huge. I really appreciate it. As a token of my appreciation, would you like a copy of this ship? I'll go ahead and send you a kit. Well, who doesn't want a free model? So we have this model. So yeah, that makes it free, right? I believe I got it for free, full disclosure. And also full disclosure, that doesn't mean I'm not open to critique, and I have a little critique right away out of the gate. You'll see that. So what we're going to do today is go ahead and take a look at this model. I am going to kind of skip through the instructions. We're going to go very quickly, because if you go to Vanguard's website, link in the description down below, any kit that they have there that you're interested in, there's a free PDF file of the instructions, and that is the awesome, it's not the plans, but it's the awesome instruction book that comes with every one of Vanguard's models. Those are incredibly helpful because you can flip through and really see what you're about to get into before you make a purchase of the kit. I wish everybody did that. And then also, if you follow along, like on the Duchess of Kingston build, for example, you can go to that page on your own for the PDF and see exactly what I'm looking at, and reference both, you know, back and forth if you're interested in doing the build. So I believe that's it. This is going to be a quick video. Let's go ahead and get this box open and take a look at the ship. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. So this is His Britannic Majesty's Cutter Sherbourne, 1763, by Vanguard Models. So this is, like I said before, hot off of the press. So this is how the box comes. It's not terribly big. This isn't a terribly large ship. It's perfect for those who don't have a lot of space and don't want a really long project. Right away, I have a critique, and this isn't going to change ever with this kit unless Mr. Watton runs out of boxes and has to order more. I prefer boxes that open differently. I prefer boxes that this lid is all one piece and it flips out from the front, and then you have easy access to everything on the inside. Some of his other kits do that. So maybe down the road, if that's an option for you, Chris, that would be super great. But this one opens up like this, a big panel, and then you got another big panel that opens up, and then you got another big panel that opens up, and then you got another big panel that opens up, and then you have a box that's opened up wide like that. It's just kind of annoying because I like to store all of my parts in the box so I'm working on the kit, because that works out extremely well. All right, so this is what you're going to see when you open this thing up. And right away on top here are the instructions. If you are not familiar with Vanguard Models, the instructions are second to none. And if you go on their website and you go to any of their kits, there's a free PDF of the instruction manual that you can download so that you can see this entire thing, and we will of course quickly flip through the pages so that you can get a good look at this, but they are available online for free. Next item here, we have this little box. It is full of photo etch parts. Well, actually no, there's no photo etch in here. This little piece of cardboard, some great rigging. We'll take a look at this, and then our blocks, and then some 3D printed parts. We'll go through that obviously as well. Then you have this mysterious white package, which I have not opened up yet. It is sealed like so, but these are your full-sized plans, 1-to-1 scale. Awesome feature. Then you get bubble wrap, more bubble wrap. Within the bubble wrap, we have these two packages. I haven't opened yet. This is your main planking right here. You've got your pear wood, and then I think this is probably, I can't remember if it's a bass. It's not basswood. I forget what it's called. And then you have your masts and spars stock inside of here. We'll break that down later. And then you have a very nicely packaged collection of your laser etched wood parts. I haven't cut this open yet. And then your finer details for the ship, including your stand. So let's go ahead and break all of this down. Alright, first off here, we're going to take a look at the instruction manual. I'm not going through everything because it can be boring, and like I said, this is available for free online. Just go to the website and you can download for free anything that you want for the manual. You can download the whole manual for free of any of the models that they have. But right away, if you're new, talks about what types of tools that you're going to need, goes ahead and gives fantastic pictorial instructions on how to get going. The only thing I want to recommend, and this might be obvious, but make sure you read all these little details because there's some fun little notes in there, and they may refer you to the full-size plans at some point, in which case you're going to need to do that. But just amazing color instructions and detailed information on what you need to know to get the ship going. And like I said, all this is available online. This is getting into the second planking and getting your whales on and painting the hull and the details here. If we skip along, you can see here we're even referencing some of the parts that we're using. Up close detail shots. Just like right here. Super helpful things. And again, if you're new and you're like, yeah, I really want to pick up my first ship, these kits, they're a little bit more expensive than what you might see elsewhere. They're worth every single penny. Like I said, this is the Tamiya of wooden ship kit producers, manufacturers, in my opinion. And you do get some nice photographs. In the Duchess of Kingston build, for example, it often says, okay, at this point your model should look like this. And that's great because there's these wonderful little checks that you could stop and say, yeah, okay, does my model look like this? I could turn it and face it, you know, and see what's going on there. Just awesome. Awesome instructions. Awesome photographs. Totally worth the time. More importantly, we move along here though, you get into excellent details on the rigging and the assembly of the mast with some up-close details. There's just one main mast on here with several spars. And it shows you how to put together. This is a simplified rigging format so that even someone like myself won't grow impatient and run out of time and skills, etc. Putting this thing together. It doesn't need to be 100,000,000% accurate. It needs to work and do the thing, right? Create an accurate representation of the ship, and that is what this model does. Lastly, you've got your full-on detail, your display case stand that you have you make, so that you go ahead and put your ship up and proudly display it. In the back, you have a parts list, which is super, super helpful. You can go through and inventory all your stuff. Although I've never ever ran into any kind of trouble with that. So here's that little box we were talking about earlier. Right away, a little black piece of cardboard that we must need for something. Right away here you've got all your little blocks that you'll need and your little bag of nails, and you're all set with that stuff. Then some 3D printed parts. I forget what this is for, but it's for it's for hoisting up your main anchor chains, or it's a windlass of types. It's like a winch, and so you'll need to paint this like wood instead of bothering to have to deal with cutting out and making a wood one from scratch. This is all ready to go. Huge time saver. So you have your main guns, and you get 8. Historically, the ship only had 6, but if you'd like to put 8 on, you can. And then you also have the little swivel guns, all printed out in black, ready to go also. Nice anchors, and then this thing, and I don't know what it is, but I'm sure I'll figure it out in the build. All right, we have very, very nice rigging, and I don't remember who he uses exactly, but this is the premium stuff. If you look closely, it's wound to look just like actual lines and cords that you would use on the real ship. This piece is a big improvement over my Duchess of Kingston line. This is for your anchors, and it's very nice. All of these, as you can see, they're twisted together exactly like real lines would be. So, numbered, like this says F17 for example. In the instructions you'll be pulling that out so you get the right diameter cord each time. Nice little package here. So this package, as I mentioned before, is our full-size plans. I have not opened these up yet, so we'll go ahead and do it together. I suspect I know what we will find. So, inventory sheet, and so up in the corner, plan sheet 1. And if I had to venture to say, we'll go to the very last one here. Plan sheet 19 and rigging plan number 8. So, go ahead and put these on here. We'll just move through them kind of quickly here so you guys get an idea of what is on these full-size sheets. So this is 1:1. And this is, this is how long the ship is here. This is 1 U.S. foot, so it's a little bit shorter than that. Call it 10.5 inches is going to be about the size of the main hull. Obviously, you've got a bowsprit and mast and things like that. It's going to be a lot larger when you're all done with final dimensions. But, very nice kit. Here's a layout of the deck. You're going to have 2 subdecks. This is not 2 subdecks. This is your subdeck, and then they'll have a piece of pre-printed decking, so you don't have to do every individual plank. It's already laser etched. You drop this in on top of that piece. Saves a ton of time. More inventory sheets. These are useful because the part numbers, you may end up referencing this page to then find the piece on the piece of wood the laser cut out. Your bulwarks and side pieces. All right, and then here's your layout for go ahead and getting your frames put together and your false keels and stuff to get everything squared up and to start your assembly. And this ship is just small enough. I mean, look at this. This is my hand. This is the layout of the ship. It's easy to have these plan sheets on the table with you, right next to you for quick reference for wherever it is you're working. And obviously you can measure things out if there's any doubt about where something should or should not be located. And they're really beautifully done. Here we're getting into some details on the mast, and this is the plan for it, so you can see where things are supposed to go and how they're shaped, so you can do a little bit of planning out, have a nice sub-assembly. Again, a little bit more details here on some of your spars and bowsprit. Rigging diagrams and examples for fixing your shrouds so that you know how they're supposed to go. Explanations again on standard sequencing for your dead eyes. Continuing on with more rigging details. More rigging details. More rigging details. This is rigging sheet, plan sheet number 5. Just all helpful stuff, right? And then this is our final page for your layout. So super helpful, nice plan sheets. Pressing on. So I already showed this kind of in the beginning. This is, I'm not going to open this package up to bore you, but here's your pear wood for your final layer of planking. This is your first layer of planking. And then you've got, I think this is a walnut or something type of wood, hardwood for your spars and mass. All nicely packaged up in here, ready to go. Okay, we do have this nice piece packaged up here with all of our laser etch parts. Everything is packaged together extremely well, nice and tight. Don't have to worry about anything going anywhere. Alright, first order of business here. This is the final display base. It's printed and cut out in clear. You'll pop all this out, put together, and then pull this back side off. So here we have 3mm pear wood, and it is 3mm thick. That's often referenced on the instructions. It helps if you know what the thicknesses are of the sheets and where to go to grab these things. Alright, so we got some photo etch. So he has placed our photo etch parts in between these two sheets to keep them protected. Lots of nice little detail there. And I like that they use a thicker PE. It's not out of scale for the kit, but it's easier to work with. It's a lot more robust and allows for some three-dimensional etching done here. This is done in like a 2-part process here. 1.5mm pear. These are all of our guns and some deck grading. Again, look at this. It's all done. Looks fantastic, so you're not fiddling around with lots of little pieces of wood trying to make this happen and get it all nice and square and plumb. It's all done and prepared for you. Another 1mm pear. So that last sheet was 1.5. This is 1. And then this is some of your details that go around your keel and bowsprit. Not bowsprit, the bow. I'm going to learn all these naval terms eventually. You got your rudder. This is basically, these are veneers that will go on over your final pieces. And since everything's all, you know, on the rudder, for example, laid out, and you have like all these people for your stern, all cut out and arched, you don't have to spend a bunch of time fiddling around with making these things. Just cut them out, bend them to shape, and install them. This is obviously part of your frame that you'll need to pop out on a separate sheet. Again, more parts for your keel and shape of the ship. That's what most of this is going to be comprised of. Deck details. Here we have our whales. All this is the upper gun port areas on the whales on the ship. All this has been detailed out for you, so all you got to do is glue and install these along the frames. It's all covered in the instructions. All the little nail spots are installed. All this detail is there for you, ready to go, saving you a massive amount of time. Here we have some finer detail. This is some of the fancier stuff and little pieces. This is a very thin piece of veneer here that you're going to work with. All right, and then 0.8mm ply. Again, the whales This might be the outside, inside, or this could be the center. I'm not sure. Often, Chris's stuff, you'll put this together. This is not like a nice piece of wood, and then you have all these marks to reference where everything should go, and this will build up the structure of the boat. All right, and then last but not least, not quite here. So here's MDF wood. This is your 2mm MDF. These are your main frames and outline and size of your ship. Then down here, so like I said before, this is your sub deck. You put this piece on the main deck. This really tightens up the ship, gives it rigidity. And then at the appropriate time, you can go ahead and install your final decking. And this is all marked out, has everything in the right place, has all the nails in it. It's fantastic. If you want to go ahead and, get planking and do it yourself, you can, but why? In 1/100th of the time it would take you to do that, you could glue and install this piece, and it's perfect and ready to go. And last but not least, we have all of our frames. 3mm MDF, nice and thick, easy to work with, and you're all set. So that is it. That is the main parts of the ship right here. So, final thoughts. I am actually very much so looking forward to this ship. Yes, it's catering to beginners, but to me that says this is a ship that I can put together quickly and easily and enjoy the process of. Also, it's a very handsome looking ship. It will be nice when it's done. I'm currently working on the Duchess of Kingston by Vanguard Models, and it's basically falling together. This is a little bit more of an advanced kit. If you want to go to our Patreon channel, you can go ahead and see every video we have so far getting up to this point. But we will be releasing slowly here on our regular YouTube channel this entire build, the Duchess of Kingston. So feel free to like and subscribe if you want to catch that. But please head on over to Vanguard Models website. The link's in the description down below. Take a look at Chris's entire catalog. Every one of these kits is incredible. Find something that's appropriate for you. Yes, again, these are a little bit more pricey. Save your money up for them and buy it. These are worth your time. I have enjoyed every minute of every Vanguard model build that I've put together, which is unfortunately just one right now. But it's much more involved than this kit is, and I've really enjoyed it. So we're going to do this one. I've got the Saucy Jack also I want to put together down the road. These are all on the to-do build list. We are going to do these. We just have to finish up the Duchess of Kingston also. So again, thank you, Chris, for sending this on over. I really do appreciate it. Go check out his website, and I hope everyone has a great day. Take care.